The rich. Where's all the money come from?
Well, you just keep printing dollars and you keep just making stuff up. So the banks.
That's the government, but not Wall Street. Wall Street's investors putting
but
money
who are the investors? They're the banks, right? So if a bank has a dollar, right? A bank can loan out $10, right? It has $1, but it can loan out 10. That's the regulations right now. It's a simplified regulation, but that's pretty much the regulation. So that $9 just came out of the air. That's it. You deposit $1, they can loan out $9 to that $1, right? So a lot of the market is just made up. It's just numbers that's just floating and it's out there.
Like a bubble.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a huge bubble. We've never seen growth like this. And the one time that we did, the Great Depression struck, right? And the second time we almost saw it in the 90s leading up through the housing crisis.
But we learned from that, and we're not going to let it happen again.
No, we didn't. We just deregulated Wall Street even more. And the guys that crashed the economy are now sitting in the cabinet. So, no, you've let the foxes into the hen house.
Well, okay.
You've let the foxes, not you personally, but we have, as a nation, have let the foxes into the hen house. And a ripple in the United States is a tidal wave everywhere else, economically speaking. So if we have a tidal wave, Christ almighty.
You're expecting one?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Because how is this sustained? I'm already seeing it in my portfolio. My portfolio took some big hits recently.
Well, it has, but it's coming back.
Maybe.
We'll see. That could take more hits. Yeah.
It comes back until it doesn't, right?
That's true. well, things are so wild today. Like Apple is like the biggest company in the world, doing great, and the stock went down like it sunk.
Because it's overvalued.
It's overvalued. It is overvalued.
It's overvalued. And that's just the reality of it.
But Amazon is going to make so much money this holiday season. They already are.
Sure.
Everybody uses Amazon. It's so convenient and easy.
I'm going to use Amazon.
Yeah.
We might actually do some like traditional shopping this year. We're going to head up to New York and spend some days there.
Well, that's always great to the holidays in New York City, but the lighting and the stores.
So,
but boy, that's going to take off.
But what are we talking about here? We're talking about fear.
Okay.
It's all about fear. And that's what this whole election's about. The Republicans, the right, the conservatives seem like they're afraid of everything.
I heard if the Democrats get in, they're going to take everything, and we're all going to be
your
destitute.
Guns. You're going to be a communist society.
You're going to be destitute.
You're going to be taxed at 110%.
Well,
what are you doing?
That is fear.
That's fear mongering, right?
That is.
But we're afraid of some caravan that's two months away.
Right.
We couldn't muster responses for Hurricane Katrina or for Puerto Rico, but we can send troops to the border on a whim.
Right.
So these are the things that we see that
put up barbed wire.
Me infuriate me on the conservative side, that you stay like, where's the intellectual honesty here, right? How are you going to pay for health care? Well, how the hell are you paying for those troops to go down to the border? How are you paying for all these wars?
Exactly.
Right? So come on, get out of here with that nonsense.
Right. That is nonsense.
Get out of here with it. It's not a matter of whether or not we can pay for it. It's a matter of, do we want to pay for it? Do we have the wherewithal to do the priorities that we need to in order to pay for it? There's no reason in a global civilization that we can't partner with the EU on military endeavors. We keep the Navy. They supply a lot of the foot troops because they've got a bigger population in the EU, a bigger population than we do. So, we kind of cut down on Army costs, or we automate more in the Army, automate more with the Marines, Air Force, sure, that's sort of the R&D wing of the military, and the Navy patrols the seas. And then we get a lot of our manpower and our
drones. Send in drones. Drones are good. Arm a drone and you can take out.
Or maybe stop going to war so damn much.
Well, that would be a better idea. That would be a much better idea.
How about instead of killing people, you start healing people? How about that?
Yeah.
And so what I see that people are voting. This line, again, it feels like the Republicans are afraid of everything. They're afraid of technology. They're afraid of, and I'm just going to say the right in general, afraid of technology, afraid of the immigrant, afraid of the Muslim, afraid of new ideas and all this stuff. They're afraid of women getting power inequality. They're afraid of minorities being empowered. They're afraid of not being the majority anymore. As if suddenly the pendulum's going to swing and women and minorities are going to treat those that are already in power as badly as they treated everyone else. That's not how it's going to work. It's just we're all going to get along after that, and that'll be that. It's very rare in history where you see the oppressed finally become equal and then lash out against the former oppressor. There's very few moments in history like that.
So this fear is dividing the nation.
And then you look at the left. The left is in fear of the policies of the right, women's reproductive rights. Is there justice in the system for minorities? Are we going to be essentially committing genocide on the border? Right? What is safe? And given that there's been no consequence really for anybody in power, you just have a monster in power now, a monster who is not afraid to hide it in power now. That right there, it doesn't bode well for anybody, because we're afraid, like, when is there going to be a consequence for this guy?
That's the question.
But here's the thing.
When the Democrats get in and they put the pressure on.
But Bush started an illegal war. Illegal war.
He did.
He tanked the global economy.
He did.
Okay? And when the Democrats finally ushered in a blue wave in 2006, what was the first thing they did? They gave him more money and more troops for his illegal war. He is still walking around here free as the day.
With Dick Cheney, too. And how come they're not being charged with war crimes?
Why aren't they at The Hague? That's right. Because most of them voted for that war. That's why. I mean, strangely enough, I'm surprised Pelosi didn't, but she didn't. But Clinton did. Biden did, I believe. They all voted for the Patriot Act. They voted for all these jacked up institutions that we're still dealing with today. And that a lot of us have just accepted as normal.
We have.
And that's the problem, because they were so worried about keeping power. And this is where term limits come into play, right? But good luck getting Congress to vote term limits on itself, right? I mean, McConnell said that enough. Well, there are term limits. It's called the elections. People don't want us there, then they'll vote us out. But we know that it doesn't work like that.
It does not work like that.
Right. We haven't, I think we talked about this before, as far as incumbents in the presidency since FDR in the modern age. FDR was reelected, Eisenhower was reelected, Truman was reelected, Kennedy probably, well, he wasn't. There was a problem with that. Johnson got elected after the assassination. Nixon got reelected. Ford did not run for reelection. Reagan got reelected. Clinton got reelected. Bush got reelected. Bush 2, and Obama got reelected.
Carter did not get reelected.
So there's only been Ford didn't run for re-election, so I don't know if that counts or not. No. But H. Walker Bush didn't get reelected. Carter didn't get reelected. So out of all that, and if you take Ford not running, LBJ resigning, and Kennedy's assassination off the table, then there's only been 2 incumbents that haven't been reelected.
They generally get reelected.
Right, in the modern age.
Yes.
So, no, you don't have term limits. Because we don't have the courage of our convictions to call out what needs to be done.
That's true.
We're not looking at ourselves. We're looking at the others. This has always been a problem in this country. We don't look inwardly anymore. We look for whatever excuse we can find. And this comes down, that's like practicing your Tai Chi and blaming the teacher because you're not getting the move. No. Spend time with it. Play with it. Feel it out. Listen to what the teacher is saying. Look within and learn.
Learn it.
Take responsibility.
It's hard.
Sure it is.
It's hard.
It gets easier the more you do it, though. It gets so much easier, to the point where you have to worry about being self-deprecating at some points, right? But, again, balance as always. And, that's one of my favorite passages in the Tao Te Ching, and I used to just drop that on... In political debates, because what we have is a world without consequence. People will not own up to their mistakes. And we look at people owning up to their mistakes as weakness. And that means that you can never evolve as a person. Thank you for joining us for that clip of our weekly podcast. If you want to get more Bonage footage or join us for the entire podcast, head on over to Patreon, where our Eagle, Tiger, and Dragon subscribers get access to not only what we cast and talk about, but advanced lessons in your forms, in your Tai Chi, and in your life.